Welcome back to another training course with Brad Weldon, President and CEO of Switch Reward Card. Today, Brad, we're going to talk about a few future-looking ideas and also just generally how Switch and the blockchain and DeFi can make the world a better place. So first question, I've heard the term the unbanked and how Switch can help the unbanked. Can you explain what the unbanked is?
Yeah, let me explain that on on a domestic level and as well as a global level. So first of all, in the U.S., someone may had some financial troubles at one time or another and written a check and forgot they didn't have any money in there and they bounced a check. Well, you go on the bad list,
The naughty list.
the naughty list. It's not quite your credit. I mean, if it goes far enough and it goes into collections, that will hit your credit. But in the banking world, there's a little bad list and it says, hey, they've bounced their checks a bunch of times. We're not going to bank that person. So that's just exactly what is unbankable because of their past performance with a checkbook. So that's unbanked. Unbanked outside the U.S. is more of those that maybe they're in a third world country and they don't have the ability to have access to any financial products. And so they just haven't been able to bank just because there's not the option. So I guess on a high level, that's just kind of what the unbanked is. And then on the business side too, because we do have and are working on our business product, on the commercial side and the business side, there are certain industries that banks have said, hey, this is high risk and we will not bank them. Regardless if they're doing legal, if they're in a legal industry, even if they're doing everything fine and everything's right and they haven't broken the law, they just say this is a high risk industry. We're not going to bank that. So in the business side, that's what that means is the bank doesn't like the industry, and that's up to them to choose. And if they don't like it, and say you're banking with them for a long time, and all of a sudden they realize, hey, we don't like this, they can write you a letter and say, leave the bank in 90 days. You got to go find a new bank account. Good luck. So that's another bad thing of traditional banking.
Okay. So how can Switch help the unbanked where they can't get help anywhere else?
Well, quite easy. So we do have the ability. We're not a full bank account because we don't have all the products, but we do have the ability to have you hold your cash on the trade platform like I showed in the course 2. In the second course, I think this is course 3. You can hold your cash there and you can do a wire or you can load your prepaid debit card and go spend it. So maybe you can't get a bank account, so you don't have a debit card, so you always have to deal in cash. Well, Switch provides a way so you can actually use a debit card and be able to go pay for something with a debit card rather than have to have cash and running into the gas station and paying them cash to preload to pay for your gas. So there's one way. The other way is we do have the ability to help those industries in the business be able to use same thing, have a place to hold your cash and wire in and wire out to whoever you want to wire to or receive a wire from. You get a SWIFT code, you get your account number, and you get a routing number as a business, and you can provide that to whoever you want to, who is sending you wires for your services or whatever merchandise that you're providing as a business. Same thing on the individual side. You have that same capability. So the cool thing is with crypto, and this is my favorite thing, is cross-border payments. It's way quicker. We won't get into that but when we talked about unbanked, I think about those places that have not had financial tools to do commerce in their life. And so that's part of the unbanked globally. And we provide a great solution to those who, everyone's got a cell phone now. And like we mentioned earlier, you can run your Switch services on a cell phone and be able to receive crypto, send crypto, convert your crypto to fiat, spend your crypto with the prepaid debit card. So that's how we help the unbanked. And it's a huge opportunity for us.
Okay, so I'm going to follow up on the cross-border payments issue. There are some countries that have very restrictive controls. Some countries have very high remittance fees. How can Switch help with those?
I think we're just on the tip of the iceberg right now. We just met with a business that they have to, and this is a fine line. So in the world of banking, you have what's called AML and KYC, some more acronyms.
Mhm.
AML is anti-money laundering, and then there's the Patriot Act, and then there's KYC, which is know your customer. And you're responsible, if you're in the finance world, to know what those are, abide by those laws and guides or laws and rules and the guidance that it gives to you. And so we follow those strictly. Part of that, when you are sending with traditional banking or traditional finance, say an international wire, that can take a long time to get through. In fact, we're dealing with it right now. A wire went into one of our potential clients' bank. This was at the 1st of October, and the funds have not been released yet into their own bank.
And it's
This,
Halloween.
and it's Halloween. So literally 30 days, and we're trying to receive a wire from them, but just in their country, they've waited 30 days. In the
Wow.
U.S., it's not that bad with the financial institutions in the banking industry, but it's still, if you're going to send an international wire from the U.S. outside, it does take a little while longer. Switch's platform helps you, instead of sending a wire, just send crypto, tell them to open up a Switch business account or a Switch individual account, receive that crypto, sell it for cash or whatever. We will be in 18 different currencies here shortly, and convert it to fiat and go spend it on your debit card. So the cross-border payments is huge for us. But like I said, there's a lot of other transactions that can happen in crypto that I don't think we've even uncovered. We just learned another situation of where we can help a business, move their funds around a little quicker and easier rather than waiting for 30 days. The cool thing is we have that paper trail we talked about, the open ledger. We can say, here's the flow of funds, because that's very important. You got to understand in the financial world or the banking world, you got to understand where those funds came from and what they're using them for, so you're abiding by the AML, the anti-money laundering rules. And so we feel there is a lot of opportunity in the world of cross-border payments, as well as those transactions that we don't even know are out there that we can help as well.
And the reason why you're able to do that is, as I understand it, the difference between, back to our conversation about centralized versus decentralized. No middlemen, no custodians that are governing whether that money can be moved and how much they charge for it.
Correct. So you can have your Bitcoin and send it to someone in Indonesia. They can receive their Bitcoin. But what's cool is they'll receive that on their, non-custodial wallet. If they have a Switch account, if that person in Indonesia has a Switch account, they can send it to the trade platform within Switch, because we're a global trade platform,
Mm-hmm.
convert it to their currency, and either wire it to whoever they want to, or wire it to their external bank account, or if they have a card, get a card and go spend it. And I just need to make clarification. The business cards are not ready yet. We're still working on that. That's one of our future products.
Good clarification. Talking about countries that may be unstable, let's talk real quickly about what are some of the problems that you've seen in the past with foreign currencies, where we have situations like today in Ukraine and Russia, Israel. I mean, war is a real issue today. How does this affect currencies, and how does blockchain or potentially Switch have the ability to help these people protect their wealth?
Yeah, and I mean, Switch absolutely has the ability to help in these areas where maybe they're war stricken, or they're just having some major devaluation of their currency. And it's not just Switch, it's cryptocurrency as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
um, Provides an answer to these areas where maybe their currency is worth nothing. Well, the good thing about that is crypto and Bitcoin and Ethereum and USDT and US whatever token you're thinking about. It can help bring in funds to be able to then transfer for services or goods. And so, yeah, Switch absolutely is at the forefront of that and wants to be able to help in that type of situation. But crypto as a whole, that's one of the cool things that Web3 and cryptocurrency is bringing, is the ability to be able to move funds easier and move currency easier than in the traditional banking world. You wouldn't even be able to. And if you watched a lot of the news on the Ukraine, you saw a lot of people were sending Bitcoin to the Ukrainians to help them finance whatever they needed to be able to fight, their war. And it's just super cool to be able to see that and people donating and helping out in that way instead of, they want to send cash, but there's no way they could get cash over there. So that was a good example of what cryptocurrency can really do. The world is becoming smaller with our tech, with this way to do peer-to-peer transactions super quick. And so we're just glad to be in this space with Switch, create what we create. It's not been easy. Those of you that have been with us for a long time, you've been patient. I think Kathy's in her third year, and I'm almost in my third year now. So it's been a while, and you've seen in this, I'm gonna kind of get into Switch side, but there's been a long crypto winter. They're calling it the ice age. A lot of companies like us have gone under, and we've continued to build and make it so crypto can be adopted easier and crypto can be converted to fiat, and Switch provides those opportunities in those products.
Okay, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but what problems are there when it comes to financial inclusion for marginalized communities, and how can blockchain help with that?
Yeah, so I did touch a little bit, but I'm glad you asked that question because, yeah, like I mentioned, these marginalized communities in these third world countries, they don't have the ability to have whatever, regional bank or national bank and just go sign up for a checking account and have a bank they can walk into, or even go online and sign up and pass what's called the KYC, know your customer. Well, Switch provides that opportunity to be able to, if there's a country that wants to use Bitcoin as their currency, which we're starting to see, Switch can provide the services as a means. And we talked about bringing traditional finance as I'm going to use the word bridge. Bridges has a couple different meanings in the crypto world, but it bridges traditional banking with the DeFi world. And so, yes, we absolutely see an opportunity there to be able to provide that product to those countries with marginalized service as far as being able to have access to financial products.
Last question. So we've talked a lot about DeFi and how that's kind of a term that not every guy on the street understands. It's still a decent mountain to climb to educate people on what the world of DeFi even is. How does Switch see themselves as being, kind of the educator, the person that's going to help, again, to use your word, bridge that gap and help the average person understand, more importantly, use DeFi?
Yeah, and I love that you asked that question. I do love what Connect is doing in the academy. Letting us, we're talking a lot about our product, and I've talked a lot about definitions and what this is and what DeFi is, and decentralized finance, and that is a big push that we have within the Connect ecosystem as well as the Switch ecosystem to say, hey, let's help you understand. You want to get into crypto? Let's do it. Here's how you do it. And so Switch wants, and like I mentioned at the very beginning of one of these courses, is one of our mottos was, hey, let's make it easy enough so Kathy can understand it. And she's very well versed in this because she's been studying it and learning it for 3.5 years. But we did have that motto to say, hey, make it easy enough so Kathy can understand it as well as use it. So there's a difference of understanding. We talked about, some of my friends have said, hey, I don't understand it. It's over my head. So I don't even deal with it. We want to be able to make people aware of what is DeFi, what is, what's the difference between DeFi and CeFi, and what do these acronyms even mean? And, what are some of the other lingos that, what's a swap and all that good stuff in the crypto world. So we feel like we're pushing forward to be able to help educate as well as teach people how to use these products.
Yeah. And just to give you a personal plug, I mean, there's no better way to learn this stuff, guys, than by doing. And when I started working with you, Brad, I got my black card, started using it. I got my node, started running it. You got to get in and start using it in order to start really being part of the community before you can go out and share it with everyone else, in my opinion.
No, I love that you brought that up. And this is one of my favorite things is because so you have the Switch blockchain, which is all community driven by the DGF, and then you have Switch Reward Card that's also driven by me and Kathy and all of our employees that we love, and they have put their heart and soul into everything that we've given. They're also community members on the Switch blockchain, and so a big push of what's cool about Web3 is how much of an impact the community can take in participating in the blockchain. They can go to the Switch blockchain Discord and they can help out in there and post their knowledge or ask questions, and the rest of the community can help out there. It's such a cool way to have everyone involved at whatever level it may be. That say maybe someone's super involved and they're doing it, they can make a huge difference as far as helping people adopt the Switch reward, the Switch blockchain. So community members are just vital in their participation in the Switch blockchain. And it also helps, those community members to push the Switch reward card products, such as our trade platform and our prepaid debit card. I love that part of, I've always been in sports and we've always had a team. And so you feel like you're there together. And that's what I do love about Web3 is there's a community behind there that's supporting, that's helping grow and participating every day or weekly or whatever they want to do or whatever level you're at. It just is a great opportunity.
So talk about the community. What kinds of things are the community being asked to vote on? Give us a sense of that community involvement.
Yeah, so the Switch blockchain, obviously, we have nothing to do with that. That's all driven by the community members and the node owners, and then the DGF is, the distributed governance framework there. We would love to be able to have the community members of the Switch blockchain really help create awareness of what Switch Reward Card Company has, and like I mentioned, our products, and if they're in the blockchain world, in the Web3 world, is hey, just share on your whatever social media you're on, share what Switch Reward Card is doing, as well as hey, maybe you bought an e-bike with your Switch rewards, whatever it may be, or the best way is just to be able to get the word out there. We just met with a pretty large OG crypto influencer and showed him everything that we had. You videoed that series, and he said, what you guys have is amazing, and you just need to get it out there. And so
that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. We need to get it out there because people will use what we have on the Switch Reward Card Company side, which then the community members can help whatever they're doing on the participation for the blockchain. So
awesome. I think that about wraps it up for this one. Thanks again, Brad. Look forward to working with you on some more videos like this in the future, and thanks for watching.